In every relationship, whether new, casual, or deeply committed, there comes a point where the energy between two people starts to shift. At first, everything feels exciting. Her messages come instantly, her voice sounds warm, and her attention is fully on you. She laughs at your jokes, she wants to spend time with you, and she genuinely cares about what you think. But slowly, subtly, or sometimes suddenly, things begin to change. The emotional spark that once felt strong starts to fade, and you're left wondering, is she losing interest in me? This question is more common than you think. Many men sense something is off but ignore the early signs. They hope things will magically fix themselves, or they blame themselves without understanding what is actually happening. But the truth is simple. Women rarely lose interest overnight. It happens gradually through patterns, behaviors, and emotional shifts that are easy to notice if you pay attention. When a woman begins to pull away, she usually won't say it directly. Most women avoid confrontation, so instead of telling you she's losing feelings, she shows it through her actions. Her tone changes. Her responses become shorter. The energy she once brought into the relationship becomes minimal. She stops initiating conversations, stops planning, stops trying. And that's when confusion begins for men, because the behavior change is subtle but deeply painful. Understanding these signs isn't about blaming her or blaming yourself. It's about clarity. When you recognize what is happening early, you gain the power to respond maturely, to adjust your approach, or to decide whether the relationship is still healthy for you. Many men keep giving more attention, more effort, and more emotions when they feel a woman pulling away. But that often makes things worse. The more you chase, the further she runs. The more you push, the less she feels the desire to stay. Knowing the signs of fading interest helps you stay emotionally strong. It protects you from attaching to someone who is no longer invested. It allows you to keep your self-respect, confidence, and boundaries intact. And most importantly, it gives you the opportunity to improve your communication, understand what went wrong, and decide your next step with clarity rather than fear. This topic isn't just about relationships. It's about emotional intelligence. It's about knowing when to give your energy and when to step back. When a woman loses interest, she leaves clues, consistent, visible, and meaningful. Whether it's through her communication, her body language, her priorities, or her attitude toward you, the signs are always there. By understanding these signs, you avoid wasting time, avoid emotional confusion, and avoid getting stuck in a one-sided relationship. You learn to protect your heart while staying strong, calm, and aware. This introduction will help you recognize the signals before it's too late, so you can respond with wisdom instead of insecurity. One of the strongest and earliest signs that a woman is losing interest is when she stops putting effort into you, the relationship, and the connection you both once shared. In the beginning, her energy is high. She texts you first. She wants to talk. She asks about your day. She makes plans. She tries to look good for you, and she invests emotionally. But when her interest starts to fade, all of this slowly disappears. Her effort becomes minimal, inconsistent, or completely absent. And this shift is not accidental. It is emotional distance being expressed through behavior. Women naturally invest in things they care about. When she likes you, everything she does carries intention. She tries harder, she becomes more available, and she gives you her attention. But when she begins to disconnect, the first thing she pulls back is her effort. Her texts become short, her tone becomes cold, and she only responds when she feels like it. She stops asking questions, stops showing curiosity, and stops trying to keep the conversation alive. Instead of enthusiasm, you get neutral or uninterested energy. You will notice that she no longer initiates conversations. Days may pass without her reaching out. If earlier she would call you just to hear your voice, now she barely responds when you call her. If she used to plan dates or suggest meeting up, now she acts like spending time with you is an obligation rather than something she looks forward to. Her emotional involvement fades and her actions reflect that clearly. Another major change is her level of excitement. Before, she was happy to talk to you and her eyes lit up when she saw you, but now her reactions feel flat. When someone is interested, their body language is warm. When they're not, their body closes off, their energy feels distant, and their presence becomes passive. Her smile becomes rare, her laughter becomes forced, and her attention drifts even when you are together. When a woman stops putting effort, you may also notice that she becomes easily distracted by her phone, social media, or other people. She no longer prioritizes your time. She cancels plans more frequently or shows up without the same enthusiasm. She stops dressing up for you, stops caring about your opinion, and stops trying to impress you in any way. The painful part is that many men try to fix this by giving even more effort. More texts, more calls, more attention. But this actually pushes her further away. When her interest drops, your increased effort feels like pressure, not support. Instead of pulling her back, it reminds her that she already checked out emotionally. Recognizing this sign early is important because it helps you avoid a one-sided relationship. If she is no longer trying, it means her feelings are changing. And instead of chasing her, the best thing you can do is step back, protect your peace, and let her show you whether she truly wants to stay or not. One of the clearest and most undeniable signs that a woman is losing interest is a noticeable shift in her communication. In the beginning, she communicates with warmth, excitement, and consistency. Her texts are long, meaningful, and full of emotion. She replies quickly, she keeps conversations alive, and she shows genuine enthusiasm when talking to you. But when her interest starts fading, her communication patterns change dramatically. Sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly, but always noticeably. The first thing you'll see is dry texting. Where she once wrote paragraphs, now she replies with one-word answers like okay, yeah, okay. The emotion disappears from her tone. The playfulness disappears too. No emojis, no exclamation marks, no curiosity. Her responses feel more like an obligation than genuine interest. Instead of adding to the conversation, she just maintains bare minimum contact. The second change is delayed responses. When she cared, she replied fast, because she wanted to talk to you. Now she reads your messages and replies hours later without explanation. Sometimes she even leaves you on scene, and doesn't respond until she feels like it. If earlier she got excited when your name popped up on her phone, now she doesn't feel the same emotional pull to reply. Another major shift is that she no longer initiates conversations. You are always the one texting first. Days may pass without her reaching out. She doesn't check on you. She doesn't ask how your day was. She doesn't show the same interest in your life, your feelings, or your problems. The emotional investment she once had slowly disappears. Sometimes her communication becomes emotionally distant. She sounds detached no matter what you say. If you share good news, she responds with a simple nice. If you tell her something sad, she barely shows concern. Her empathy starts fading. Her emotional reactions become cold or shallow. This distance is a sign that her heart is no longer fully in the connection. You might also notice she becomes easily irritated. Things she once found cute or funny now annoy her. She interprets your messages negatively. She gets bothered by small things. When interest decreases, patience decreases too. A powerful indicator is when she stops having deep conversations with you. Before, she used to share her secrets, dreams, fears, and personal thoughts. Now she keeps everything on the surface. She becomes guarded. She avoids vulnerability. Losing emotional connection is often reflected through limited emotional communication. And here's the truth many men ignore. Women don't pull back communication without a reason. Communication is emotional for them. When they reduce it, it's because they feel less connected. But the worst mistake men make is chasing harder, double texting, asking why aren't you replying, or trying to force her attention. This only pushes her further away because it makes her feel overwhelmed. Recognizing this early allows you to protect your emotional health. When communication becomes dry and distant, it means her feelings have shifted. And instead of begging for attention, stepping back shows strength and self-respect. When a woman is losing interest, one of the strongest and most painful signs is that she slowly stops prioritizing you. In the beginning, she carved out time for you even on her busiest days. She adjusted her schedule, made plans, and showed you, through her actions, that you mattered. But when her feelings start to fade, the time she once gave you effortlessly becomes limited, inconsistent, or non-existent. Time is one of the clearest expressions of interest. A woman who cares will always find a way to spend time with you, not because she is forced to, but because she genuinely wants to. So when she stops making time, it's a sign that her emotional investment is decreasing. The first shift you'll notice is that she starts giving excuses. She says, "I'm busy," "I'm tired," or "something came up," more frequently. And while everyone gets busy, the pattern becomes clear. She's always busy when it comes to you, but somehow she has time for friends, family, social media, or other activities. This imbalance is a huge red flag. Another sign is that she stops planning. Earlier, she might have suggested places to visit, things to do, or dates to enjoy. Now she shows no interest in making plans. Even when you try to plan something, she responds with uncertainty like, "Maybe," "I'll let you know," "We'll see." These phrases are soft rejections. They indicate she doesn't want to commit to spending time with you. You may also notice she cancels plans more often. She used to look forward to meeting you, but now she cancels at the last moment with vague explanations. Even if she does meet you, her excitement is gone. She is physically present but emotionally distant. Her mind is somewhere else and you can feel it. A major change occurs in how she handles her free time. Before, if she had even an hour free, she would call you, text you, or try to meet. Now she uses that free time for everything except you. She no longer includes you in her life. She no longer updates you on her plans. You find out things through her stories or through others instead of hearing them from her directly. When a woman prioritizes you, she shows consistency. When she loses interest, that consistency disappears. She no longer puts in effort to stay connected. She becomes comfortable with distance. She stops trying to maintain the bond. Many men make the mistake of chasing harder when they feel her pulling away. They start asking for more time, demanding attention, or complaining that she no longer makes them a priority. This only pushes her further away because it makes her feel pressured and suffocated. The truth is simple. A woman who truly wants you will always make time for you. A woman who doesn't will always make excuses. Recognizing this sign helps you avoid emotional attachment to someone who is no longer investing in you. Instead of forcing your way back into her schedule, the right move is to step back and let her show through her actions whether she truly wants to keep you in her life. When a woman's interest begins to fade, her emotional tolerance naturally decreases. Things she once found cute, funny, or endearing may suddenly start to irritate her. This shift in her emotional responses is a major sign that her feelings toward you are changing. In the beginning, she appreciated your efforts, enjoyed your jokes, and overlooked your imperfections. But now, even your smallest actions can trigger annoyance. This isn't because you're doing something drastically different. It's because her emotional connection is no longer the same. You'll notice this change in her tone first. She becomes sharper, colder, or quicker to snap. If earlier she would respond with patience, now she reacts with irritation. Even normal conversations turn into arguments. She might say things like, "Why are you asking me that? I don't know. Can we not do this right now?" Her emotional warmth fades, and her responses become defensive and dismissive. A woman who is interested naturally has more patience. She tries to understand you, she listens, and she tries to communicate kindly. But when her feelings start fading, her emotional investment goes down, and so does her tolerance. Suddenly, your questions sound like demands, your conversations feel like pressure, and your presence feels heavy to her. This emotional shift is not about the situation, it's about her mindset. Another clear sign is that she stops giving you the benefit of the doubt. Instead of assuming the best, she assumes the worst. Instead of seeing your actions as genuine, she sees them as irritating or unnecessary. A joke she once laughed at now feels annoying to her. A habit she once accepted now becomes something she criticizes. Her perception of you changes because her emotional attachment is weakening. You may also notice that she avoids deeper conversations because they irritate her. Whenever you try to talk about the relationship, your feelings, or her distance, she becomes frustrated or shuts down the conversation. She might accuse you of overthinking or being dramatic, even though you're simply trying to understand what's happening. This reaction comes from a subconscious desire to avoid acknowledging her fading feelings. Her body language also reveals irritation. She may sigh more often, roll her eyes, look away while you talk, or seem restless when you're around. She becomes less affectionate, avoids physical touch, and keeps emotional distance. A woman's body language becomes cold when her heart becomes unsure. The painful truth is that when love or interest decreases, irritation increases. Even small things feel like a burden to her. This emotional shift is not something you can fix by being nicer or giving more effort. In fact, the more you try to fix things, the more irritated she may become. Because effort doesn't recreate attraction, emotional connection does. The most important thing to understand is this: irritation is a symptom, not the cause. It's a sign that her heart is no longer aligned with the relationship the same way it once was. Recognizing this early allows you to protect your self-respect. Instead of fighting for attention from someone who is pulling away, sometimes stepping back is the most powerful thing you can do. One of the strongest emotional signs that a woman is losing interest is when she stops opening up to you. In any healthy connection, women naturally communicate. They share their thoughts, dreams, fears, daily experiences, and deepest emotions with the person they feel close to. When she trusts you and feels connected, she wants you to be a part of her inner world. But when her interest fades, that emotional doorway slowly closes. You will notice that she becomes quieter, not because she's tired or busy, but because she no longer feels the same emotional bond with you. If she once told you everything about her day, now she shares nothing unless you ask. If she once came to you for advice or comfort, now she handles everything alone or starts talking to someone else instead. Her communication becomes formal or superficial, with no depth or vulnerability. This emotional withdrawal is a powerful sign because women only stop sharing their hearts when they stop feeling emotionally safe or emotionally connected. It's not just about talking less, it's about talking differently. Conversations become short, surface level, and predictable. She doesn't tell you what she's thinking. She doesn't tell you what's bothering her. She no longer includes you in her future plans. Instead of involving you, she distances herself quietly. When a woman loses interest, you may notice she avoids emotional conversations. If you ask her how she feels, she gives vague answers like, "I'm fine," "It's nothing," "Don't worry about it." Instead of sharing, she shuts down, and this shift means her emotional connection to you is fading. Another sign is when she stops being curious about you. Before, she wanted to know everything: your goals, your struggles, your emotions, your daily routine. Now she doesn't ask, she doesn't check on you. She doesn't show the same empathy or concern. This emotional distance is not accidental. It's a reflection of how she feels internally. A woman who is invested emotionally stays engaged. A woman who is losing interest creates emotional distance to protect herself or prepare to disconnect. The deepest relationships are built on emotional intimacy, and when that disappears, the relationship becomes hollow. You may also notice she becomes secretive. She doesn't tell you where she's going, who she's with, or what she's doing. She used to update you naturally, not because you asked, but because she wanted to keep you involved. Now, she shares nothing unless you question her, and even then, her answers are short and guarded. This change is painful because it feels like you're losing access to the version of her you once knew. But it's also the clearest sign that her emotional investment is fading. When her heart withdraws, her communication follows. When her feelings change, her openness disappears. Many men try to fix this by forcing conversations or pushing her to open up. But emotional closeness cannot be forced. The more pressure you apply, the more she closes off. The best thing you can do is give her space to show her true intentions. Emotional intimacy is a choice. If she wants to reconnect, she will. But if she continues to pull back, it means she's already halfway out emotionally. When a woman begins to lose interest, one of the clearest signs appears in the way she responds to physical and emotional intimacy. Intimacy is not just about touch. It includes affection, warmth, emotional closeness, and the desire to connect deeply. When she was interested, she enjoyed holding your hand, hugging you, sitting close, laughing with you, and sharing intimate moments. She showed affection naturally because she felt emotionally connected to you. But when her feelings begin to fade, these behaviors start to disappear. The first thing you might notice is that she becomes less affectionate. She no longer initiates hugs or leans into you when you're together. If earlier she loved holding your hand or resting her head on your shoulder, now she avoids even small gestures. She creates physical distance without saying it directly. Her body language changes. She turns away, keeps her arms folded, or avoids sitting close to you. These small actions reveal her emotional shift. Another clear sign is that she loses interest in deeper physical intimacy. She may start pulling away when you try to get close, giving excuses like "I'm tired," "I'm not in the mood," or "maybe later." While everyone has off days, a consistent pattern of disinterest shows that her emotional connection is slipping. She no longer seeks closeness because she no longer feels the same desire or comfort she once did with you. Emotional intimacy also declines. She stops having vulnerable conversations, avoids expressing her feelings, and doesn't want to talk about the relationship. If earlier she opened up about her fears, dreams, and insecurities, now she shuts down emotionally. She keeps her distance because her heart isn't aligned with you the same way anymore. Another major sign is that she doesn't miss you. Before, even a short distance felt noticeable to her. She wanted to talk, see you, or hear your voice. But now, even if days pass without speaking, it doesn't bother her. She doesn't ask when she will see you. She doesn't express longing. The emotional bond that once pulled her toward you is fading. You may also notice that she stops complimenting you or showing admiration. She doesn't appreciate your efforts, doesn't react warmly to your gestures, and doesn't express affection verbally. When a woman cares, her words reflect her feelings. When her feelings fade, her words become neutral or distant. Many men try to fix this by forcing close, just asking for affection, pushing for intimacy, or trying to convince her to be more loving. But intimacy cannot be forced. When a woman is emotionally disconnected, physical closeness feels uncomfortable, not comforting. The truth is simple. A woman who is in love wants to be close. A woman who is losing interest naturally creates distance. Her lack of intimacy is not rejection of you as a person. It's a reflection of her changing emotional state. Recognizing this sign protects you from becoming desperate or emotionally overwhelmed. Instead of chasing her affection, the best thing to do is observe her actions calmly. If she wants to reconnect, she will move toward you again. If she continues pulling away, it means her feelings have shifted, and you must protect your self-respect. One of the most painful and final signs that a woman is losing interest is when she gradually stops including you in her future. In the beginning, she naturally imagined you in her life, next week, next month, even next year. She would talk about trips you could take together, things you could experience, events you should attend, and goals she wanted to accomplish with you by her side. These small hints were signs that she saw you as part of her long-term story. But when her interest begins to fade, her vision of the future shifts quietly and deeply. She stops mentioning we and starts speaking only in terms of I and me. Her goals become individual, not shared. She makes plans for weekends, gatherings, or important events without involving you. You learn about her plans after they happen, not before. This shift is emotional, not accidental. It's a sign that her heart is preparing distance. A woman who cares will naturally include you in her dreams. A woman who is losing interest unconsciously removes you from them. She stops discussing the future because she no longer sees you in it. She avoids conversations about commitment, about where the relationship is going, or about what both of you want long term. She becomes vague whenever the topic comes up. If you ask her about future plans together, she may respond with uncertainty, "I'm not sure yet. Let's see. I don't want to think too far ahead." These answers are not about caution. They're about emotional hesitation. She is unsure because her feelings are changing. She no longer wants to give you false hope, but she also doesn't want direct conflict. So she stays silent or vague instead. You may also notice that she starts making decisions without consulting you. She signs up for plans with friends, makes travel arrangements, or changes big parts of her life, and you hear about them last. She no longer considers how her choices affect the relationship, because emotionally she has already stepped away. Another sign is that she stops imagining scenarios with you. She doesn't talk about spending holidays together, doesn't discuss future goals as a couple, and doesn't hint at long-term commitments. She becomes fully present only in the moment, not in the future. This emotional detachment is one of the final steps before she leaves mentally and physically. Women often remove you from their future long before they tell you directly. They detach in silence. They drift away emotionally. They create distance not because they want to hurt you, but because their heart no longer feels aligned with yours. Many men ignore this sign and try to force future discussions, hoping it will bring her closer. But forcing commitment when her interest is fading only pushes her further away. The truth is simple. If she no longer sees a future with you, she stops investing in the present. Recognizing this sign early gives you the clarity you need. Instead of holding on to a one-sided future, you can protect your self-respect and make decisions that honor your emotional well-being. Understanding the signs that a woman is losing interest is not about blaming her or blaming yourself. It's about gaining clarity. It's about recognizing when the emotional energy in a relationship has shifted. Many men stay confused, hurt, or stuck because they ignore these signs or hope things will magically fix themselves. But the truth is simple. When someone's interest fades, their actions reveal it long before their words do. Every key you've read, her reduced effort, dry communication, lack of time, increased irritation, emotional distance, loss of intimacy, and a future that no longer includes you, points toward one thing. The relationship is becoming one-sided. When her heart pulls away, her behavior follows, and as painful as it is, you must see this clearly instead of convincing yourself that things are still the same. But here is the most important lesson. You cannot force interest, love, or effort from someone who has mentally checked out. Trying harder will not bring her back. Giving more attention will not fix the distance. Begging for love or proof will only damage your self-respect. When interest decreases, chasing increases the gap. The more you push, the faster she pulls away. This is why recognizing these signs is powerful. It gives you control again. Instead of being confused or heartbroken without understanding why, you now know the truth. And once you know the truth, you can choose a wiser, stronger path. Sometimes stepping back is not giving up, it's respecting yourself. It's allowing her space to decide what she truly feels. If she still wants you, she will notice your absence. She will come back with effort, clarity, and sincerity. But if she doesn't, then her silence becomes your answer. And although that truth hurts, it also frees you. It frees you from waiting for someone who has already walked away internally. Relationships are not built by one person's effort. They require balance. Both people showing interest, both people investing, both people caring. You deserve someone who shows up for you, someone who values your presence, someone who doesn't make you question where you stand, someone who gives you the same energy you give them. Losing someone's interest doesn't mean you are unworthy. It doesn't mean you failed. It simply means your paths are no longer aligned. People grow, feelings change, and sometimes life moves in a direction you didn't expect. But every ending opens a new beginning, one that may lead you to someone who appreciates you fully. Use these signs not to fear relationships, but to protect your heart. Instead of holding on to someone who is slipping away, hold on to yourself. Instead of begging for love, build the kind of life where love naturally flows toward you. The right person will not make you feel confused, unwanted, or unimportant. The right person will bring peace, effort, and consistency. So if you see these signs, don't panic, reflect, observe, and choose yourself. Because sometimes losing someone is not a loss. It is the start of finding someone better and rediscovering your own worth.